Hey guys, I'm Vestian, the play-by-play caster for the PCS region, and I aim to give you some insight into PSG Talon, so you all know what to look for in the upcoming MSI. PSG Talon are the PCS representatives in the 2023 London MSI. They are the most decorated team in the PCS since its inception, and are looking very strong heading into the tournament. With star players like Wako and Jinjia, they look to be able to not only take games but series against powerhouses like JD, Genji, T1 and BLG. Domestically, they boasted a 15-3 win-loss and were undefeated in games Jinjia played. Their strengths lay primarily in their macro game as well as mid to late game team fighting.
Such a huge team fight, Solo Kill gets his Narbar so late.
First of all, their top laner Azir. He plays the role of tank for the most part, with Cassante and Nar being his most played picks at 6 apiece, and he looks great at facilitating his team in team fights. His ability to play both as a peeler and an initiator really helps the side of PSG. He is not generally one to carry the game through his laning advantages, and for the most part, more through his positioning as well as teleport plays around the map. While at times, Azir can look weaker than the rest of his team, he has the ability to completely 1v9 a game. During the Spring Split Finals against arguably the best performing top laner in the region, Solo Kill, he completely dismantled his opponent in all 3 games, and in particular as Kennen into Nar, he shut Solo Kill down completely to the point he was up 60 CS through laning alone. Going up against the more acclaimed top laners, you could expect Azir to be more of a neutralizer in his role, where even tops like Bin may find it hard to gain massive advantages against him. Probably the most well-known member of PSG is their jungler, Jinjia. After acquiring Jinjia as their starting jungler, PSG turned into a whole new beast, playing what was primarily the meta junglers such as Wukong, Sejuani and Maokai, in what was a very stale meta. He put on a show of mechanics on these champions that made them look as though they were high skill expression champs. Jinjia holds a 100% win rate in the regular season, as well as looked like the best piece of their playoffs puzzle. His time of EDG has really turned him into a powerhouse player. His ability to facilitate on the tank junglers, carry early game on ganking junglers, as well as carry the entire game on carry junglers cannot be understated. Jinjia is who you look towards to get PSG leads and make sure the team can remain even or get ahead into the later stages of the game. Some carry junglers getting buffed may make MSI more interesting for PSG, as we may even see Jinjia really take over some games like he was able to do on Elise and Viego in the PCS region. Jinjia plays to make his team shine, and he does it incredibly well.
Third reset found here on the Viego as Hollow is also being chased down.
Yubao is probably the most interesting member of the PSG Talon lineup. He looked like one of the cleanest Ryze players in the region, and when he was able to pick Ryze, the entirety of PSG's playstyle would change completely. Instead of playing what they're known for in team fighting prowess, they would opt more towards split pushing and wave control to set up around objectives and slowly wither every opponent away. He would consistently get ahead of his opponent and have a chokehold on the entire game. Although his Ryze is strong, he looked good on mostly any control mage, and also on Tristana mid. His playoffs run saw 3 wins in a row on split pushing Tristana mid, followed by it being banned until they eventually won. Worth noting, he currently sits on 0% win rate on Ahri, despite it being his most played champion in playoffs, and thus I believe he is better suited on either split pushing focused champs or on more zone control mages. Wako is by far the most exciting player, and he is almost an insurance policy. If PSG have not won by the 20-minute mark and the game draws out to the 30-minute mark, you can rely on this guy to pull out some incredible play to close out the game, despite what may look like a loss or even a dead-even game. His Zeri, Lucian, Aphelios, and Xayah all stand out to be his best and most promising picks, and on all of these champions, he is almost certain to make a montage play at some stage of the game, if not throughout the game's entirety. During the split, he maintained a 10.1 KDA as well as dealt 33% of his team's damage on average. While it is hard to judge due to the domestic nature of the league, Wako looks to be a truly world-class AD carry. For MSI, if you're looking for someone on PSG Talon to be the real carry in their games, look no further than the human highlight reel, Wako. Woody plays support more as Wako's third summoner than a roaming playmaking support. He tends to favour range champions like Nami, who was his most played champion, paired with Lucian in 7 of their games. During the regular season, he played 0 games of melee supports, and when his team required engage tools, he preferred the likes of Annie. However, as range supports got nerfed and melee supports received buffs, he did pull out a Nautilus game, as well as 3 Thresh games during the playoffs. Game 5 between PSG and CFO, where it looked like PSG would actually lose the game, he was able to allow Wako to hit his stride, even though they had found themselves 6,500 gold down at 29 minutes. What Wako brings to the team of PSG would not be possible if not for Woody's great laning and peeling for whichever AD carry is picked. I hope this helps all of you that are interested in some of the narratives coming from minor regions, and I hope you're all excited to see PSG upset some of the biggest orgs in League of Legends history.